Szanowni Państwo, witam bardzo serdecznie po przerwie.
Ladies and
Wracamy
gentlemen,
do
welcome
poważnych
after
tematów.
the break.
Eddie Irving z
we
firmy
are
Belron przed
coming
przerwą
back to very
ruszył tematy, które są
serious
naprawdę
topics.
niezwykle
Eddie
ważne.
Irving
Czyli tematy
from
tego,
Belron
w jaki
has
sposób
touched
działają
upon very important topics. He told us how all available safety systems based on cameras work in our vehicles. Well, we believe that they will always work perfectly, but there are situations in which we need to calibrate or recalibrate them. Today, we have Jarek Kuciński with us, the specialist from Autoglass. Please tell us, well, the technology has moved forward. The camera-based safety systems are available in the majority of regular passenger and cars and trucks, not necessarily the premium segment. So how come drivers don't know that you need to recalibrate the cameras from time to time, and why people in the car garages don't know that? Because what I expect is that when I go to have my car repaired, I should be told that, for example, this and that needs to be recalibrated. Well, I think that we listen to the dealers. The dealers will tell us how wonderful the car is and what wonderful systems it has, and we expect that everything will just keep working perfectly. These systems are very advanced, and we just don't know that they should be worked on. You don't see if they stop working properly. For example, if your windshield wiper gets deteriorated, you see it, so you replace it. In one of the videos that Eddie showed, you have to imagine the situation in which the camera, which is not working properly, makes the system calculate the distance to the obstacle wrong. So a wrongly calibrated camera makes the car hit the obstacle rather than braking the car before the obstacle. Well, I'm just wondering what forms of education should we implement? Because, of course, today's webinar is very useful, but it would be important to talk to the dealers and to the car garages where average users go, because there they should get reliable information. Well, let's keep in mind that it is still the driver who is responsible for driving. I mean, the systems will assist us in driving, but it's still our responsibility to drive safely. The more we start trusting the systems, the more care we should take of the systems. Yes, on the one hand, we would like everything to work very well, but on the other hand, we would like it to work without our participation at all and without any servicing. So today we are going to say a lot about calibration and recalibration. Soon we are going to see your interview with Grzegorz Wroński, who's also responsible for technical innovation. He's so passionate about all this, and he has a lot of knowledge. This is his life. Yes, true. This has become his mission. He became the head of our innovation department in order to focus on the ADAS systems, recalibration, etc. So probably he's the best specialist in our country. He tested everything. He's seen everything that the systems can do. And he knows how to take care of them. So he's also very willing to share his knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, I would like to encourage you to ask questions on our chat, because after this long interview, Grzegorz Wroński is going to join us here in the studio, and he will willingly answer all your questions concerning the ADAS systems, recalibration, etc., etc. And now, a long interview with Grzegorz Wroński, the person who knows everything about calibration. So, what is the first step? What do we begin with? We start with reading the handbook, we scanning the car, we have to check the fault codes because we need to know which of them may impact the calibration. We take into account the engine and the suspension system. We follow the calibration procedure, and then after calibration we also check whether any fault codes have remained. So, if after restarting the car that there are still faults, what happens? Well, we make a printout and deliver it to the customer, and it may be that calibration will fail if there are still error codes. How do you communicate with the car? How do you connect to it? Well, we have OBD2 connector, and this is how we connect with the car. So, actually, you can get connected in this way with each vehicle? Well, yes and no. There is an increasing number of cars where there is the socket, but you can get connected because it is secured by the OEM. then how can you calibrate such a car? Well, you can unblock it after you purchase the right license. But sometimes you need to do that in order to unblock the connection to the system. In the movies, we frequently see the scenes where a young hacker using his laptop can break into the system. Can this happen in real life? Are we protected? Well, it turns that, yes, in the US there has been a study conducted, and it turned out that in the case of one make of the cars, it was possible to break into the system and take control of the car. And that's why automotive manufacturers make sure that they secure their cars in such a manner as to disable anybody to change anything. Okay, so we've got connected to the vehicle. Now what is next? We check the preparation of the car, and we need to follow all the steps. We have to check the tire pressure, for example. We have to check the towing, etc., etc. We have to set up the equipment, set all the parameters that are required for the recalibration. How long does it take to prepare the equipment and the vehicle for recalibration? Well, the preparation, including all the steps, may take an hour. Sometimes you need two types of recalibration, static and then dynamic, driving into the city. And then, of course, if it's dynamic calibration, it may take 2 hours or 3 hours even. Sometimes we may be successful, but sometimes we may drive for 2 or 3 hours, and the traffic was wrong, or it's been raining or snowing, and then the calibration may be more difficult. So we cannot really predict how long the calibration will take. No, in advance we cannot say how long it will be, an hour or an hour and a half. We may make some assumptions, but when we start driving in the city, we never know. After the recalibration, do we get any confirmation? Is there any indication by the onboard computer, etc.? Well, we always generate calibration reports, so depends on the system. This may be either the detailed description of everything that has been done, or just confirmation that the calibration has been successful. But of course, we retest everything.
I really trusted
So the client drives safely back home, so we can trust the system and entrust our life and health to it? Well, yes. But of course, we have to bear in mind that it's the driver who is always responsible for driving still today. The systems assist the driver, but do not take the responsibility. In 2025, probably we'll have the third generation of ADAS systems, and the cars will become more autonomous. So tell me, what equipment we use to calibrate? Well, we actually have 3 brands: Bosch, Haller-Gutmann, and Texa. And so how many devices we have? 21 today, plus 3 mobile devices as tech, and also 1 piece of equipment that is used for recalibration of the systems on trucks. So 21 stationary pieces of equipment, 3 mobile ones. So you provide recalibration to passenger cars and trucks? Yes, trucks and buses also. What about electric cars? Well, yes, we can also do that, but there are different procedures to be followed. Special safety procedures have to be followed in order to avoid electrocution. Any other special requirements? Well, right now we have cars with pneumatic suspension, so they have slightly different requirements for recalibration. There are also vehicles with a new type of rear axle, and again, the different requirements for these. So trucks and also buses, yes, of course, trucks and buses can be recalibrated. So, as I understand, the client can drive safely home. It can trust the vehicle that it will protect the client's life and health after the recalibration, of course. Yes, of course, but the client is still responsible for controlling and driving the car safely. And so this is the systems that exist assist the driver but do not replace the driver. There is an increasing number of such systems on the vehicles. Starting from 2022, there will be at least 6 safety-related systems, plus the so-called black box, where all the driving parameters will be recorded. Even today, some of the cars would record the manner in which we drive. And using this black box, we can find out certain things. So these new systems will be available, but systems like ABS or something else? Yes. And anything new about the systems? Are these just, collision avoidance or something else? Well, collision avoidance, lane kicking systems, traffic sign recognition system, combined with speed assistance. This is the system that will slow our car down according to the allowed speed. The European Union has already enforced the application of such systems on buses and trucks. And we have adjusted one of our mobile pieces of equipment to perform such recalibration. For static recalibration, there is no problem. For dynamic recalibration, we need to take into account the driver's time and the required brakes according to the tachograph. In your opinion, do these systems impact safety really? Well, yes, of course. The driver's attention may be distracted and the systems assist the driver. So in the future, we are going to drive autonomous cars, fully autonomous. Well, this is the assumption made by the European Union. The European Union assumes that until 2050, there should be no fatal road accidents. According to the EU research, in 9 out of 10 cases, the accidents are caused by a human error. So if you eliminate the human factor, then the driving should be safer. This is especially important, for example, when the trucks or buses turn right, because they have a big blind spot. So the systems are not being worked on so that cameras can assist the drivers to see for example, the cyclists or the pedestrians in this blind spot. So, can you tell us when we recalibrate the system? Well, if the windscreen is replaced or the tires are replaced, when the geometry of the cars changes. So, after such service, recalibration has to be done. What happens if it's not recalibrated? Well, the system will not work properly, but we cannot say whether it's going to be the change in plus or in minus, whether, for example, the cameras will assess the difference, distance properly, etc. So, for example, when you take your family and go on holidays, usually you do not focus on the road. You talk to other people in the car, etc., etc. In such a situation, we would like the driver assistance systems to warn about the destruction. Considering the allowed speed on Polish motorways, 1 second of driving means 40 meters. And that's why the calibration of the systems is very important, because this will allow us to avoid dangerous situations, minimize the number of collisions, or at least minimize the effects of the collisions. So, what is the connection between these systems and the windscreen? Well, the sensors, the cameras are frequently mounted on the windscreen next to the rear mirror, because this is where the visibility is the best, and the systems are protected by the windscreen. So the windscreen is like scaffolding for these systems. Yes, there are special brackets on the windscreen, and this is where the individual pieces of equipment are mounted. Why is it this place? Because the visibility there is the best and also is within the central line of the car. Plus, the windscreen protects the cameras and sensors against the weather conditions. And cameras, radars, etc. constitute a very expensive part of the system. And thanks to this windscreen protection, the system can work efficiently in any weather conditions. Well, so it seems to me that we are facing lots of challenges related to servicing ADAS systems. Yes, we have to assume that there will be very many vehicles like that very soon, if only because of the requirements that will come into force in 2022. Like, for example, the requirements regarding the automatic emergency braking, intelligent speed assistance, detection of pedestrians and cyclists, alcohol interlock installation facilitation. So in every fourth vehicle, when windscreens are replaced, every fourth windscreen is equipped with ADAS systems. And this requires appropriate preparation on our side, appropriately trained people. In the coming quarter, we would like to train approximately 40 people in the area of recalibration of ADAS systems. And apart from recalibration of systems located on the windscreen, we would like to expand our services to include recalibration of radars that are placed on the bumpers, and also the surround view cameras. The growing number of the safety system and the trend towards autonomous cars, well, it seems like we are facing lots of challenges. Yes, of course, the European Union, starting from 2022, will require lots of safety systems, plus 2050, which should become the accident-free year. Leads to the situation in which we will need to recalibrate an increasing number of systems, and there will be an increasing number of ADAS systems placed on the windscreen. Yes, and this is connected with the continuous development, purchasing new calibration tables to be able to service an increasing number of car makes. And some car makes require 3 different calibration tables, and the cost of this table is very high, but we still have to purchase them in order to meet the challenges of the future. Grzegorz, to sum up, considering all you've told us about a moment ago, how is Autoglass getting ready for what's going to happen? We keep training our personnel. We increase the number of the devices and pieces of equipment that we have. We cooperate with the leading manufacturers of calibration systems, and we update our equipment and software on the continuous basis. Thank you very much. Thank you. See you later.
Grzegorz Wroński of Autoglass Technical Department. Right. Grzegorz, you know everything about calibration. Your colleagues told me that you, when you learned first some time ago that certain equipment could be needed, you started looking for the right equipment, you started pushing, the standards and everything, and it's been your sort of central topic, your specialty. So what about this equipment for calibration? Is it big? Is it small? Is it like a box? Is it like a suitcase or what? We use a diagnostic tool that's a multi-brand one, but we're trying to use another tool called Aztec, and then we can cover all the different brands and all the different ages of vehicles. Now we cover over 95%, right? When it comes to the equipment, it's like something that's the size of a laptop, the tester. But for static calibration, you have a special stand, you have all the boards, you have all the equipment that you put on the wheels, so there's quite a lot of accessories. So static calibration needs more equipment. Dynamic calibration is based on just this testing sort of laptop-sized device, plus some additional equipment that's not so huge. But static calibration, it's more expensive, it requires more equipment. How long do you have to really be trained? For how long do you have to train to do calibrations well? Because the quality of the calibration is all in the person who does that, in the technician, right? Is it difficult? Yes and no. The way you handle the testing equipment, it's just like a laptop, so you're clicking on different icons and the whole process, you're taken through the whole process. But all the setup, all the configuration, then you need to really know what to do. You need to know what you're doing, what can trigger an error, and if there's an error, what could happen out there on the road. So the more calibrations you do, the more knowledge you have, the more experienced you are. I learn all the time, every single day. There's new vehicles, new models. You're learning something all the time. There's different solutions. OEM producers use different solutions. They use intermittent calibration, static, dynamic, additional equipment. Sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not necessary. It's like magic, right? Magic. Well, but I'm thinking, when you do this calibration, when you conduct a calibration, you're aware that you're sort of holding human life in your hands. If you make a mistake, and I assume you cannot make a mistake, influences what will happen if safety systems need to be triggered. It's very responsible. Sure, it is. One has to have a lot of knowledge. One has to know how our setup and our configuration can translate into what happens in traffic. There should be a test drive. When you have dynamic calibration, you just do a test drive. You program your test drive. You drive 70 kilometers per hour, and you're keeping 10 lengths of a vehicle in front of other cars. But how can you maintain that when you're driving on a highway? If someone cuts you off, right? How will they know that you're doing calibration and you're doing a test drive? It's impossible. People behave in all sorts of ways, right? So if you do that in the city, in traffic, very difficult to do. There are vehicles where when you stop, you have to start over. So if you stop at the level of 10% progress, when you start again, you have to do it from scratch, right? But anyway, there's always this recommendation that you should do that on motorways, on express roads, and so on, where all the lane lines are visible, and so on and so on. But sometimes to go to the expressway, you have to go to the outskirts of the city, right? You're not always close to it, or you cannot do this calibration because it's rush hour. And even on the motorway, there is a jam, right? So sometimes at a certain point of time, you just cannot do dynamic calibration. Or when it's snowing and you have fresh snow. We had this situation this year where there was heavy snowfall, and when there was snow on the road, lanes were not visible. So you couldn't do this. So you have to reschedule it. When? When it's sunny, right? We had a Mercedes vehicle. It's a funny story. There was a training of a board member at Mercedes. We did static calibration in our halls, and then we went out there in traffic. But it was cloudy and rainy, and the requirements were that it was supposed to be that we needed sunny weather, so we couldn't finish calibration. Right. So the driver had to wait. Yeah, you have to be patient.